Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Cornstar. If you're even slightly interested in farming or just want to watch a 22-year-old farmer get some stuff done, you're in the right place. Before we get started with the video, do not forget to hit the thumbs up button. Thanks guys. Hey, you guys see what's going on behind me? Yep, loading more junk. Sadly, part 3 of the junk cleanup series won't be out for a long time. They're just picking up a few items and then they're gonna be out of here until steel prices come back up. It is an absolutely beautiful Iowa day today. We actually have sun. We've had rain for the past several days. That's why we've been doing all shop work. Been inside so that way we can kind of get out of the weather. But today, we're supposed to have nice sun, a little bit of a breeze, nice temperatures. So we're gonna be outside. We have a lot of work to do here on the grain setup before we're ready for harvest. We're gonna walk through a couple things so we can show you what we all gotta get done. This pit right here is 4 foot deep, but it's full of rotten corn. That's where all my profits are, guys, right there. I know, guys, I know this is super inefficient and it's a giant waste, but I really don't have any other choice. If I put in a new pit, that would run me about $50,000. This right here, I might lose $200 a year worth of corn in it. It's kind of one of those things, you know, $50,000 pit, $200 of corn. Which would I rather do? Right now, I don't have 50 grand, so $200 it is. But down the road, when I'm a mega gajillionaire, I'm gonna put in a nice pit or above ground thing, something that's real nice, not gonna fill up with water, not gonna have any more rotten corn, because I'm getting real tired of rotten corn. Then on this back pit here, we still need to find an auger that we're gonna stick in here that's gonna run up to the leg. You guys see that thing back there behind the junk? Yep, that's the dryer. It got pushed down there so it was out of the way, but that dryer needs to be drug up from down there and put right here. Then we got some electrical work on it to do. Electrician's gotta come out, and man, that seems to be a real issue lately. Electricians just don't want to come out to our place. I don't know why. But the dryer is going to sit in here at an angle like this. And then we're going to need to set up an auger from under the hopper bottom there, which comes through here into the dryer. The end of the dryer will be right where I'm standing right here. And an auger is going to go from here to some sort of distribution thing, somewhere where that mud puddle is. And it's going to go to that bin and the big bin. There's Dalton. Dr. Cornstar. I think Dalton's starting to grow a handlebar mustache. This needs to be fine-tuned, cleaned. Haven't got through here with the skid loader yet, and it's still got to sort through all this stuff. You guys just saw that cylinder that Dalton was crushing with the front loader, right? Yeah. Those used to be full of rotten beans, and they're kind of sitting here in piles. These need to be cleaned up. We haven't cleaned them up yet because it's been raining, and rotten beans are super heavy when they're soaking wet. So we need to scoop these up. And then right here we got the duals for the 7140. We need to put those back on. That can be done on a rainy day, so not terribly worried about it right this moment. This is the big bin right here. We got maybe 2 bushels worth of corn left on the floor. It just needs to be swept up in a nice little pile, and then we'll scoop it out. Could bring it out in a couple 5-gallon buckets. Won't take very long to do that. Just more of an annoying kind of thing to do. And Lake Superior is no longer gonna be here after this year. We're filling this in with dirt, and we're getting an incline unload on this floor auger here. That way, we won't ever have to do this anymore. Because this is terribly inefficient, and it's a big mess, and it's a pain. Because every time it rains, you gotta suck the hole out with the sump pump. There's always a bunch of corn that gets in there, and you sit there for 2 hours trying to just suck out one hole. Not doing that anymore. In the big machine shed here, we have this cable system, which goes from the pole here down to a slot here in the floor. So what that does is strengthen the sidewalls to the building. So we have one every 8 feet around this thing. The building's 171 feet long and 60 feet wide. So we got quite a few of those to set. We're gonna do that because we fill this building with corn. If I was standing in this spot 2 months from now, I'd be under about 20 feet of corn. The Freightliner behind me here still needs to have the oils changed and stuff, and I still need to hop under there and grease it. But I have power washed it, so at least I don't have to power wash another semi, because power washing semis is lovely. The chemical trailer here is gonna be unhooked from the Freightliner, and we're gonna have to find a nice little home for this. I wish we could put it inside, but we just don't have the building space to be able to do that at the moment. And then this grain trailer right here is what's gonna go on the Freightliner. This too has also been power washed. But air pressure still need to be checked and it still needs to be greased, and then we need to make sure all the hubs and stuff are good on oil. Then the wonderful door structure behind me here on the floor, this is gonna get put back up this weekend. It has been years since we've had both sets of doors be able to be shut here on the big machine shed. The one at the other end got blown out in a windstorm once and it sat on the ground for like 6 years, and then we finally got that back up last year. And then last year, my grandpa accidentally bumped this door with the skid loader and it fell off. So now we're getting that put back on right now. But we're waiting on some materials to come in, so we'll be working on that this weekend. We still need to get 2 more loads of 3-inch rock, that way we can put it on the driveway. We got a couple muddy spots here outside the big machine shed. And then right where those blue tanks are sitting and right here behind me is also another area that gets pretty muddy when it rains. And it's really annoying when you're driving through with equipment and you're just spreading mud everywhere over your good rock. So I want to get everything covered with some nice rock. That way we can be building a nice layer and then we can cap it here next year. And then I don't have to roll my ankle when I'm walking across this giant rock all the time. And then last but not least, but definitely the easiest project of them all, you guys see that auger on top of the big bin right there? Yeah, that's gonna get pulled down. There's a 6-inch auger up there right now. We're gonna put an 8-inch auger, and instead of going halfway down the roof, it's gonna go all the way down to the bottom of the roof, that is. That way the auger that we have going up to it isn't straight up and down to get up there. We can actually have some angle, and it'll be a lot easier to set up too. Are you growing a handlebar mustache?
I don't know. We'll see with just the stash to start off.
Well, yeah, guys, by the way, Dalton helped us this past spring, and good news, he's coming back this fall to help us on the days that he doesn't have class. He's gonna be jumping out, but I told him we're not gonna have any horsing around in any of our equipment. He can be a little rough on things sometimes.
Try not to be.
Just to clarify, in the video of Junk Cleanup Part 2, that was not him driving the loader. That was a different guy. So that's some pretty thick metal. Back in the day, these held fertilizer, and then we repurposed them into using them as bends, but we haven't really used them during my life that I remember anyway, maybe when I was a really little boy. So, not really gonna miss them.
I'm not gonna miss these tanks at all. When I was a little boy, they were here. We'd put corn in them or beans, and since the hole to get in them was so little, or there was holes on top, I had to be lowered down on a rope and stay in there till we got it vacked out. It was a dirty, yucky, sweaty job, so I am not gonna miss them tanks.
Dalton and I are gonna climb up on top of the 50,000 bushel quick. We're gonna bring a tape measure and measure how long of an auger we need from the top to the edge. So that way we can get it built, and then we can get it all lifted up there and ready to go. Hey, I found a wrench. I still can't believe I found a 9/16 up there. This thing is worth gold over here. I'm gonna hop in the telehandler. We're gonna lift up to the top of that bend, see how high we can get in the telehandler. That way we can kind of have in our mind how we're gonna figure out how to get that auger up there and into position. Daddy Cornstar and I are trying to figure out what we're gonna do with these augers for putting up on top of the big bin. We got some spare auger parts in the back, so we're just trying to put in our mind how we wanna go about doing this. It's been a very long time since we put that one up there, and that one's a 6-inch, and we wanna put an 8 up there. Mostly a mind game, mostly a mind game. Jobs like this seem easy in theory, but you just do a lot of running around scratching your head because a lot of these things we've never done before. A lot of the stuff you see me do, I've never done before. Kind of one of those things, you gotta figure it out as you go, and that's how you learn. That's how you get better at things. While I'm back here, I'm gonna snatch up these duals quick, put them on the flatbed trailer. That way we can bring those home for the 7140. Then we're gonna pull that auger off that trailer. We kind of changed plans about 700 times, but we finally got something figured out. At least I think we got something figured out. So we took that auger, which was 41 feet long, and then we cut it down to 26 or so. So the section that we cut off had the end spout. We're taking that end spout and we're now putting it onto the new end, which is now shorter. And then once we get that all together, then we'll try to bring it up to the bin. Cooper's gonna weld the end of the auger there, that way the flighting has something it can tack to. Since we cut it in the middle, it doesn't have any tack welds on the end, so we're gonna weld a couple there, that way the flighting doesn't just unwind itself as we're running corn through it. And I'm stuck here in the skid loader because the boom is up and I can't open the door when the boom's up. Guess I'm on break time. Looks good. Now Cooper's gonna lift you up on top of the bin and we're gonna try to take that old auger down.
We got Cole and Cooper on top of the bin. What they're trying to do, our old auger that fills the bin, it's getting wore out, so we're replacing it. So they're trying to take down the old one right now. So they're up there a little ways. We got an 8-inch up there now, and they're... Oh, now he's telling me where to go. I should just take the lift down. Look at him. He's pointing. He knows sign language. Daddy Cornstar's advice for the day. If you ever get hurt on a job, just remember, when the pain is gone, it won't hurt no more. Daddy Cornstar knows best.
We figured while we have it down on the ground, we're going to replace the bearings on this end as well as the other end. And while we were doing this, we just noticed the pulley here's got a crack in it, so we're going to have to find a different one of those as well.
We just decided we can't get the pin out of here very good. Since this pulley shot, we decided we're going to get the torch, heat that little turd up, take the punch and hammer and plop it on through. It's going to work.
I'll flip this up so you can hear me. This pulley here is stuck on there and it's cracked, so it's no good anyway. So what I'm going to do is take the grinder, cut it off, but I got to be really gentle not to hit the shaft underneath. So this is going to take me a little bit.
So I don't know how the new ones, what holds them on for sure. I think they're key and then set screws tighten up to it, don't it?
If you've never taken a bearing off the end of a shaft before, we have to knock this pin out. Normally this would come out first so we could pull this pulley off, but that bad boy did not want to move. We heated it up with the torch, we hit it hard with the hammer, nothing would work. So that's why we cut this off, and this was cracked, so it didn't really matter. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get that out. Then I gotta undo this locking collar, and then we'll undo these bolts and hopefully pull that off. Daddy Cornstar here found this brand new pulley in this heated shop. So that's the one we're gonna use. This unit right here is super handy. This is a puller. So what you do is you put the impact on it, or you can put a socket or a wrench or whatever. And this little plunger here in the middle gets driven forward, and so these little claws hook around whatever you're doing, and then when that gets pushed into it, then it pulls it away. So we just pulled that old bearing off with it.